I've gotten a few requests for different Social Security videos, so I'm going to try to get to all of them within the next few weeks. Today, we are going to talk about how your Social Security benefit is calculated. Before we dive in, please take a minute and check out the link you see on your screen. It's a message from my sponsor, The Motley Fool, and it's the best way to support this work I'm doing on YouTube. Again, that link is fool.com/Frankel. And please hit the subscribe button to my channel if you haven't done so already. So let's dive right in. I want to share my screen real quick. All right, so how your Social Security benefit is calculated depends on a few things. It depends on how many years you've worked in Social Security covered employment. It depends on how much you've earned in that employment on an annual basis, and it depends on when you decide to start collecting Social Security benefits. So there's a little more to it than that. So let's go through this one step at a time. So step one, the Social Security Administration indexes your earnings. So they record every year's earnings. If I print out my Social Security statement, I see what I earned working at Burger King when I was 15. They keep a very detailed record of all of your earnings. And when they calculate your benefits, each year's earnings, up to an annual limit that is set each year, we'll get to that in a little bit, is indexed for inflation. So what that means, just for example, um, in 2025, the annual indexing factor for earnings from the year 2000 is 2.072. So what that means is anything you earned in that year would be multiplied by that factor to get the number that actually is used to determine your benefit. So for example, if you had a salary of $40,000 in the year 2000, multiplying it by that factor would give you $82,880. So that would be the number that's used for that particular year when determining your benefits. So far, all we've done is taken each year of your earnings and adjust it for inflation. That's step one that the Social Security Administration does. So before we go on, it's important to discuss the concept of your year of eligibility. So there are different index factors for each year of eligibility. So the one we just saw for 2000, that was the 2025 year of eligibility. So your year of eligibility, and this is kind of a key thing to know for Social Security purposes in general, is the year you first become eligible, meaning the year in which you turn 62 years old. If you were born in 1960, for example, your year of eligibility would be 2022. So you would use the formulas from the year 2022, regardless of what year you actually claim Social Security, just because that's the formula that will apply to you, because that's your year of eligibility. So moving on to step two. Step two is to determine what is called your AIME. So after the Social Security Administration indexes your earnings for inflation, they consider the 35 highest earning years. Now, most people who have worked their entire life have more than 35 years of earnings to consider, and it's not an issue. For example, if you start working at 25 and you stop at 65, that's 40 years. If you have worked for less than 35 years, you're still eligible for Social Security. You really only need 10 years of work to be eligible for a Social Security benefit. But in that case, zeros will be used to fill in the missing years. So if you've only worked for 30 years, for example, you would have 30 numbers plus 5 zeros to average together. Your 35 highest earning years are averaged together and then are divided by 12. This is known as your average indexed monthly earnings, or AIME. This is the primary number that is used to determine your Social Security benefit. Step three, that number is used in a formula. And this formula changes each year. And the formula you use, the one you see on your screen and the one I'm about to talk about, is the 2025 formula. Your formula will be the one that was in effect in your year of eligibility, which we just mentioned a little while ago. So the 2025 version is the one that applies only to people who were born in 1963. If you were born in 1964, you'll use whatever formula is in effect in 2026. If you were born in 1956, add 62 years to that you get 2018. So whatever formula was in effect the year you first became eligible is the one that applies to you. And that's whether you claim at age 62, 65, 70, or anywhere in between. But for 2025, and the Social Security formula is definitely weighted toward lower income. So you get 90% of the first certain amount of earnings for 2025. It is the first $1,226. You get 32% over the next amount. Those numbers are called bend points, those little thresholds right there. So you get 32% of the amount greater than the lower point, which is 1226, but that is less than $7,391. And you get 15% of the amount greater than that upper limit. Again, Social Security benefits are, the amount of income that counts is capped by the year. So there is a maximum Social Security benefit you can get. In 2025, it's right around $4,000 a month for people who retire at full retirement age. I'm going to discuss that in a different video. That was another request I had. But one important thing to know about the formula is that those dollar amounts, the bend points that I just referred to, will be different if you have a different eligibility year. However, those percentages, the 90%, the 32%, the 15%, those are the same year after year. So the only thing that changes is the income thresholds that are considered for those multipliers, not the actual percentages. And then finally, step 4. So step 3 calculated what your Social Security benefit would be if you claimed it at exactly your full retirement age. Step 4 is to adjust it for early or late retirement, assuming that you don't claim it at exactly your full retirement age, which very few people actually do. The common ages to claim are 62 and 65. A lot of people claim anywhere in between, and some people wait all the way till age 70. Very few people, especially right now, because full retirement age is kind of, it's not a round number. For example, someone who was born in 1959, your full retirement age is 66 years and 10 months old. A lot of people don't wait to get that exact amount. They'll usually kind of claim it when they're ready or at a specific age. But you can claim Social Security at any time between the ages of 62 and 70. If you claim before you reach full retirement age, your benefit will be permanently reduced at these rates. So that's 6 2/3% per year, up to 36 months or 3 years before full retirement age, and at a rate of 5% per year beyond 36 months early, or as early as age 62. So the net effect of that, if your full retirement age is 67, which it is if you were born after 1960, then your benefit can be reduced by as much as 30% permanently for claiming early. These are prorated by the month. So even if you claim 1 or 2 months early, or if you claim 1 year and 4 months early, it's done by the month. So it's not just by yearly percentages. On the other hand, if you choose to wait beyond your full retirement age, up until as late as age 70, your benefit will be permanently increased at a rate of 8% per year. So if your full retirement age is 67 and you wait until 70, that adds up to 24% increase to your Social Security benefit on a permanent basis. So that's kind of the basics of how your Social Security benefit is calculated. I wish I could go through specific examples for everyone who asked me how their benefit is calculated, but I can't. Hopefully you found that very informative. Please ask me any questions you have. I'll do my best to answer any of them individually. And thanks for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from the popular product Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by nearly 5 times. So go to fool.com/Frankel to get your 10 stock picks now. The Motley Fool Stock Advisor returns are 767% as of July 5th, 2024, and are measured against the S&P 500 returns of 163% as of July 5th, 2024.